What if everything you've been taught about money was designed to keep you average? The truth about wealth is buried under layers of generational myths and systemic traps. Warren Buffett once calculated that 1 hour of his time was worth over $5 million. Let that sink in. While most people trade hours for billionaires see time as a weapon. They don't count minutes. They measure opportunity cost. Every minute spent on tasks that don't multiply their wealth is a crime against their potential. This is neurological dominance in action. The wealthy eliminate distractions you tolerate daily. Emails, delegated, meetings, automated, Netflix binges, priced out as luxury failures. The poor work for money. The rich make money work while they sleep. But here's where it gets uncomfortable. Your obsession with being productive is killing your wealth. Society trains you to glorify busy work while billionaires quietly outsource, automate, and vanish from trivial battles. They're not lazy, they're surgically selective. Think about your last week. How many hours vanished into tasks that a virtual assistant could have handled for less than the price of a coffee? Time isn't money. Time is the only currency that can't be printed or earned back. In 2008, only 16 institutions received advance warnings about the impending economic collapse. Why? Because access isn't about merit, it's about algorithm poisoning. The elite don't just play the game, they rewrite the rules in private servers. You've been taught to save, budget, and avoid debt. Not student loans, not mortgages. Strategic leverage most advisors would call reckless. The rich don't see debt as a burden, they see it as a detonator. Controlled explosions to break through barriers you've accepted as permanent. Banks want you fearful of risk, anchored to their terms. But the 1% use debt cycles as escape routes from the poverty maze. Here's the twist. Your grandparents warned you about debt because their trauma came from a system rigged against them. Billionaires inherited playbooks, not paranoia. Next time we'll dissect how money flows like a virus, and why your savings account is its favorite host. You've been told debt is a shackle. Billionaires treat it as a skeleton key. Let's shatter the myth. Jeff Bezos didn't build Amazon by saving lunch money. He used $43,000 of credit card debt, not for emergencies, but as rocket fuel. Most people see debt as a pit. The wealthy see it as a trampoline. Here's the semantic violence. What you call debt, they rebrand as leverage velocity, a simple shift in language that cracks open mental barriers. Banks paint debt as dangerous because their survival depends on your fear. They want you anchored to savings accounts paying fractions of a percent, while they loan your money out at 5 to 10 times the rate. This isn't finance. It's a hostage situation. But billionaires exploit a loophole. They borrow against assets that appreciate faster than the interest devours them. Real estate, intellectual property, infrastructure. The poor pay interest. Now, the generational twist. Your fear of debt isn't natural. It's inherited trauma. Parents who survived recessions conditioned you to hoard cash. Meanwhile, dynasties teach their heirs to weaponize low-interest environments. Controlled debt cycles act like blood transfusions for dying capital. Let's get visceral. Imagine money as a parasite. Stagnant savings are its favorite meal. The elite starve the parasite by keeping cash in motion. Buying, selling, refinancing. Banks hate this. Why? Because fast-moving money slips through their taxation clause. Velocity banking isn't a strategy. It's a rebellion. But here's the FOMO trigger. Every second you delay, inflation eats your safety net. The system wants you paralyzed by what-ifs while the rich secure generational lines of credit. Next, we'll expose how assets outlive humans, and why your need for instant gratification is a billionaire's profit engine. The Rockefellers still earn millions yearly from oil wells drilled before light bulbs existed. What pipelines are you building? The Rockefeller family still earns more each year from oil wells drilled in the 1870s than most will make in their lifetimes. Why? Legacy assets. While the average person chases instant dopamine hits from clearance sales and weekend getaways, dynasties plant seeds that grow for centuries. This is hyperbolic discounting in its most brutal form. The poor choose immediate small rewards. The rich endure delayed gratification so extreme, it borders on generational insanity. Every dollar you spend today on temporary thrills could have been a seed for an oak tree your grandchildren sit under. The wealthy don't buy things. They infect money with purpose and let it replicate. Illiquid assets are their vaccine against poverty. Real estate. Society mocks old money while secretly depending on their stability. Here's the sacrilegious truth. Your savings account is a coffin for capital. Banks need you to park cash where it slowly suffocates from inflation. Billionaires build greenhouses instead. controlled environments where money mutates into unstoppable forms. Think about how you approach risk. The middle class fears loss. The 1% fears stagnation. While you stress over market dips, they're acquiring distressed assets through private channels you'll never access. Liquidity is a trap for the impatient. True wealth flows from assets that outlive their creators. But here's the body horror. Your retirement plan depends on a system rigged to favor those who start early and think in lifetimes. If you're 30 and haven't begun building legacy pipelines, you're already 20,000 sunrises behind. Time compounds faster than interest. The Rockefellers didn't drill those wells because they loved oil. They loved timelines longer than human lifespans. Your obsession with this quarter's results is exactly what keeps you a customer instead of a creator. Next, we'll dissect money's secret life cycle and why your wallet is part of a food chain you've never noticed. A single dollar bill circulates 55,000 times. How many of those transactions leave DNA that profits you? Money isn't paper, it's a living organism with a heartbeat. Every dollar you've ever touched has 55,000 future lives. The question is, how many of those lives work for you? Let's autopsy the corpse of cash. When money stops moving, it dies. The poor embalm it in savings accounts. The rich inject it with adrenaline through capital velocity. Picture this. A billionaire's dollar bill completes marathons before yours finishes a yawn. It's loaned, collateralized, reinvested, and securitized. All before you check your balance app. This isn't finance. Banks thrive on your stagnant funds, paying you crumbs in interest while loaning your money to entrepreneurs at 10 times the rate. Your parked cash becomes their war chest. But here's the predatory urgency. Inflation isn't rising prices. It's your purchasing power bleeding out in an alley. The elite know money must sprint faster than economic decay. They turn currency into a virus, infecting assets that multiply silently. Real estate, licensing deals. Your wallet is part of a food chain you've never mapped. Every time you swipe for instant gratification, you're feeding predators upstream. The 1% don't earn, they intercept. Think about the last 10 transactions you made. How many flowed through systems designed by millionaires to skim percentages off your survival instincts? Grocery chains, fuel corporations, subscription services, each a toll booth on your road to mediocrity. Now, the synaptic shift. Wealth isn't stored, it's choreographed. Billionaires don't own money, they direct its ballet. A single dollar might fund a startup, secure a patent, then collateralize a skyscraper. All in one fiscal season. Stagnation is the real risk. Not market crashes, not recessions. Money that isn't evolving is already extinct. But here's the contagion framing. Your financial fears are viral. Banks spread anxiety about debt to keep you dependent on their terms. Meanwhile, dynasties teach their heirs to see economic collapses as Black Friday sales. The 2008 crisis created more millionaires than any bull market. Why? Because panic is a filter. The rich have antidotes to liquidity trap. You've been given placebos. Your money's lifespan depends on one question. Are you hosting a parasite or breeding a symbiote? Tomorrow's finale will expose the ultimate wealth hack. Not how to earn, but how to engineer a self-replicating system that outlives you. The Rockefellers' oil wells are still pumping. What's your forever engine? Billionaires engineer immortality through systems, not savings. Imagine planting a money tree that blooms for centuries. The Rockefellers didn't hoard oil profits. They built self-watering gardens, patents, copyrights, automated businesses. Your bank wants you obsessed with nest eggs. The rich build hatcheries. Here's the generational trauma you're up against. Schools teach job applications, not legacy architecture. Parents preach security, not sovereignty. But dynasties thrive on sacrilegious education. They train heirs to see money as a living entity needing ecosystems, not cages. While you stress over monthly bills, the 1% design financial aqueducts that flow across lifetime. Think bigger than compound interest. Think exponential geometry. A well-structured trust fund can out-earn 10 generations of salaried workers. But here's the scarcity illusion. Banks amplify fears of shortage to keep you dependent on their crumbs. Billionaires create abundance through velocity loops. Money circles their orbit faster, gaining gravitational pull with each revolution. Your financial fears are antiquated software. Time. The ultimate wealth hack isn't a stock tip or side hustle. It's neuroplasticity. Rewire how you perceive value. Stop counting dollars. Start auditing minutes. Stop fearing debt. Start demanding what it can purchase. Legacy isn't about leaving money. It's about installing code that runs long after you're gone. The elite don't retire. They redirect. Passive income isn't a luxury. Every system you've touched today was built by people no smarter than you. Playbooks can be borrowed. Mindsets can be hacked. Algorithms can be poisoned. Your move isn't to chase money. It's to become a gravitational core that pulls value to. The Rockefellers' wells still pump. Bezos' algorithms still recommend. Buffett's compound interest still snowballs. What's your forever engine? This isn't motivation. It's a mirror. Keep financing someone else's empire, or start drafting blueprints for your own. The video ends here, but your story?